using AI, enhancing what we do, simplifying what we do. We have 8,000 users with AI now every single day.
Today, I am in Paris at the headquarters of Sanofi, one of the world's largest biopharmaceutical companies. Sanofi CEO Paul Hudson and I will talk about the bold moves the company is taking to advance the healthcare industry.
We made a decision about digitizing the company, using AI, enhancing what we do, simplifying what we do, but not just saving it for a few clever souls in the labs. We're using AI more and more in the labs, but 6,000 of our 90,000 people in the labs. The other sort of 80,000 plus people, why can't they benefit? They are personally outside work. So how do we do that in a format that is inclusive and interesting and allows them to put their energy into insights and action and less into analysis and Excel? That's what our next generation of leaders is expecting. You know, when you watch Netflix and it recommends a show and you like it, it's AI. But when you're in a company, why can't it be the same? I don't need to know how to program in Python, but I would like to be, amplified my effort with some suggestions from AI. We have 8,000 users with AI now every single day. What I call snackable AI, making it available for everybody, and we're doing particularly well at that.
You also build a large digitalization center here in Paris, I believe. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the role of that center and the role it is still playing in that digitalization journey you just mentioned.
We took a big space in a WeWork, let's be honest, and we wanted to keep it outside of the normal sort of structures and boundaries of the company, and we cross-pollinated it with people from the company, people from consumer marketing, from digital and data backgrounds, streaming services, and we wanted to put people together to solve some of the challenges that we think are important for us. For example, if you're a mother of a child that is developing a skin condition, and you're probably going to go to the doctor. Most mothers now will also hit Google before they even do that. And in this case, for atopic dermatitis, how can we provide support in the appropriate manner, real time, right there for her when she needs it for her child? That's a really important moment. In the consumer world, it's been better at that than pharma. We sort of start where the doctor meets the patient. We want to start a bit earlier and really help and support. When people were just simply returning to offices in Paris, slowly but surely, you couldn't get a seat there because there's a common purpose to do something incredible for patients and in turn for the company and the people that work in it. The vibrancy is off the charts, multi-stakeholders in there, and we're trying to do things that have never been done before in pharma. And I get particularly excited. I know recently our chairman visited, and he's like, oh my God, this is crazy good. And that's when you start to realize, doesn't matter the generation or the perspective, we're doing really super work.
The whole world has been talking about mRNA for 2 or 3 years now. You created a center of excellence for that technology. What is the thought behind that?
Well, I think, we all learned a lot with mRNA in the pandemic. Now, mRNA has been around for 20 years, at least the scientific trying to do something with it, and without success. COVID presents itself, it's a single antigen. mRNA, we know is fast because, remember, you're making the body's response in the body, not in a manufacturing site and putting it in the body for the body to then react. So speed was always going to be good for mRNA. We went into the pandemic. We knew that we should perhaps be involved in that too. We started to ramp up our M&A, not in time for COVID-19, but recognizing that in pandemic, speed will be the winner. In the future, we might want to deploy that tech if mRNA works. It worked. It's not perfect. It's not as durable as people would have hoped. But let's be honest, and hats off, we said it was a race. It was a race we were happy to lose as long as somebody won, because it mattered that we got the world back to normal and we protected people, particularly vulnerable people. So you'd think, well, why are you persisting? The pandemic is behind us. Well, no, we wanted to take mRNA further into influenza, see if it could change the game. It's a big challenge. We just saw Moderna have some struggles recently, but we'll persist. We'll take it into acne, 30 million Americans suffering from that, mostly teenagers, highly detrimental emotionally. We'll push on. But the real magic, while we have a center of excellence, not only to do those things, but it's where we converge not just vaccines, but R&D folk to make sure we can take non-viral vectors, mRNA versus AAV, and we can start looking at things like gene editing. We can look at in vitro CAR T, moving it to in vivo. This is incredible stuff. This is science fiction meets science fact. This is where we're heading. So we take the learnings from mRNA, from COVID, and we say, where is the puck going and how can we be ahead of it? And cross-functional, 2 major centers of excellence, one in Boston, one in France, and the energy in there is insane. And the work doing on non-viral vectors, it won't come fast, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, we'll start to see transformational therapies. And it will have come out of the intensity around COVID, because we learned more than we could ever possibly have imagined in a short period of time. Right. That's not a bad thing. While we didn't win, maybe our win is ahead of us. We looked at mRNA to say, can we go after what was previously considered undruggable opportunities? There's a responsibility, right? If we can do something, we can be first, if we can be best, but that's great for us. What does it mean for those young lives? It means a normal life. It means a life free of stigma, depending. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but wow. And I've been in the industry 32 years. I mean, that's what gets me jazzed every day, even on the tough days.
At BCG, we defined 2 moonshots. One is artificial intelligence. The other one is climate and sustainability. What is your agenda on climate and sustainability? I know you have a net zero ambition and goals. How do you think about that as a company?
We're taking it a stage further. And I personally am involved, and it's a real calling for me. I'm part of the Sustainable Markets Initiative with King Charles in the UK, working with a bunch of CEOs to say, okay, healthcare is 5% of the emissions. 5% of emissions, more than airlines. Half of that is the delivery of healthcare. Patient gets in car, drives to inner city, can't park, drives around, goes to hospital, hospital's overheated, overcooled, depending, and is well lit 24 hours a day. And then you're in there thinking, if half of that 5% is that journey to getting, being given a medicine, then repeatedly going back with a chronic disease, what can we do? And I think we learned in COVID, you can hybrid your relationship with the patient, and you should be seeing them virtually and face-to-face blended. That single action could knock 1 or 2% off the global emissions, just that. So I play a part advocating for that, helping shape that, campaigning for that at COP27, soon to be COP28. I think we need the work, the big work, the work by the elevator, the poster, but we need the day-to-day work that everybody feels responsible at every level, not including the delivery of healthcare and how we work with healthcare systems.